So in your mind, you're like, I got the backflips down, I got the speech, because I want to talk about the speech, like your speech.
Yeah, you gotta bring up the speech.
Like if there's anything I had for Mike Chandler in my scouting report on something he needed to work on, it's working the microphone. And I feel like that whole thing happened, and Taylor looks back at me, I'm like, oh yeah, he did that.
You think I need to work on the microphone?
Before,
I have subpar skills on the microphone?
I'm talking before this fight.
Dang, come, bro.
If there's anything you needed to work on was getting the mic game up a
He
little
said
bit.
that out loud. We were sitting there before the fight, like we were analysts. Like we were analysts.
When did I underperform on the microphone?
Well, I'll have to go back and check the tape.
Yeah, you need to go back and check the tape right now.
Here's
I'm so mad at you right now. I'm so mad.
Do you not feel like what you just did on the mic has been your best mic work in your career?
Oh, for sure.
By far.
But I've only had 2 mic works. Bellator I was never going to get on the mic because I wasn't fighting the best guys in the world. I wasn't on the biggest promotion in the world. It'd be like trying to be the biggest cool dude in the world, being a running back for the CFL. You're just like, well, who does this dude think he is? If you really think you're something, go to the UFC, then get on the microphone.
Michael Chandler doesn't think CFL people should celebrate.
I'm sorry. I hope I don't know. Whatever. You get the.
No, I get what you're saying. You're not at the pinnacle. You're not at the peak.
sure.
So why are you celebrating? You're not there yet.
Yeah,
I get
for
what you're
sure.
saying.
So,
but what Will's saying, I think something that can be misconstrued is you're really nice.
Oh, that's what
You're
you guys
really
are saying.
no.
You want me to say a couple more cuss words.
That's what I'm.
I wouldn't mind it, but
I wouldn't mind it.
But as I'm saying, and you're like, I've only done the mic work twice, and I'm like, yeah, I guess he's right.
Yeah.
Like coming into the UFC, like knowing like if you're gonna get in the conversation,
you gotta
like do shit because your social media game's changing a little bit.
Hey, you are getting a little chippier.
Hey, thanks.
Which I love.
No, I love it. I love it.
Yeah, dude, I love
Taylor
it.
texted me like 6 in the morning about the DS.
Dude,
I love it,
call him a little boy or something like that.
Oh no, daddy's. I was talking about the UFC being his daddy.
Yeah, bro. I tell you what, I woke up and checked my phone. I was like, holy shit, Chandler's just out here on a rampage right now.
I'm just thinking you got to be a certain you got to be the way you were on the mic the other night, and the way your social media game's changing a little bit. Like those are the things you got to do in my head to like if you're like wanting to propel yourself in the conversation. Not like this is Will's keys to success, but I'm thinking like if you're making noise, like you are usually like a nice dude, and you got to make noise like you're making now.
Like when
that's why
a good example of that might have been when Ferguson grabbed his ankle. Like grab my ankle.
Yeah,
grab my ankle real quick. You should have. See, walked away. You know what I'm saying?
See, I like
with the flinch.
I feel like
they were like doing the standoff or whatever. You guys got the flex in.
Yeah.
And Ferguson grabbed his ankle like that. So you just point and smile at him.
But you knew he was joking though. You knew he was kind of joking.
We're selling tickies over here, baby.
That's true.
We're selling tickets. Grab my ankle again. Bitch, I wish you would. And you walk off. I walk off. You grab your son, pick his ass up one hand.
I've told you about this before. I like to live between the two extremes. You got this psychopath right here that everybody sees on the TV, and then you see the normal me, and somewhere in between, you never quite know what you're gonna get. Like if push comes to shove, this dude will show up and heads will roll. But for the most part, I want to live kind of in between somewhere. But
I know you do.
It was incredible.
I know you do. I'm talking strictly when you're in this octagon. I don't
strictly when I'm in the
want to
octagon.
fucking talk about these
for sure.
egos you're talking about.
I also didn't want to come in with such a loud, boisterous, because I hadn't proven myself.
Bravado.
I think bravado. Yes,
good.
Man, you all are coming up with some good words.
Well, hey, listen, Will started it. Will started it.
When I'm
pulled out the old
word, you guys just hit me with it. But also imagine if I would have came in, and I guess I kind of did with Hooker a little bit, but like imagine if this was my first call out or whatever in the UFC, which I did get some crap for the Hooker thing at the very beginning because they were like, who's this dude? Who does he think he is? So I wanted to kind of come in,
the mic the right way,
dip my toe in the water a little bit, prove myself, because I think everyone's got to prove themselves at every level of every endeavor. I've proven myself now. Now you can maybe see me, open up the laces a little bit.
Whatever that means, to start calling yourself him. You know what I'm saying? Start calling himself him. You know what I'm saying?
Did you recite this? Like, were you thinking about this speech?
Yeah. Well, I knew I was going to call out both guys in the main event, and I knew I was going to call out Conor because those all made sense. And it was honestly true that people can see straight through BS and they can see straight through inauthenticity. I truly believe that there's not an MMA fan on the planet who wouldn't want to see me rematch Charles Oliveira or Justin Gaethje. So just remind them. So you had to remind them. And I do think that had I done this, which I knew I was going to, or at least I was manifesting it, that I was going to, that Conor should be the next guy to call out because it just makes a lot of sense.
If happens to have a lapse in judgment,
a momentary lapse in judgment.
Beautifully, you call out these two guys and you say if Dana has a lapse in judgment, there's one dude, Conor McGregor, and everybody's getting fired up. Look at Rogan smiling.
Hey,
And everybody erupts, bro.
bro, I got goosebumps right now. I got goose again. I got gooses again, dude.
Is it cool, like, hearing obviously it's fucking awesome hearing the crowd erupt, but in the beginning of the fight, you heard a lot of Tony Ferguson fans.
I did, yeah.
Tony.
Hey,
Yeah,
two
dude.
American
Cinco
boys
de
on
Mayo
it.
weekend, El Cucuy, Mexican descent on Cinco de Mayo weekend too. Like that was the other thing that I didn't quite think about.
I
In
didn't think about that
Arizona,
either. Yeah.
large
border
Mexican
country.
contingent, like which I did not quite think about until I got there, and I was like, this might be hostile territory. But win the crowd, Maximus.
Yeah, you
Win
did,
the crowd.
bro.
Yeah, you
Oh,
won.
man.
All
We
those
were
people,
so fucking
all those
hyped.
people who started yelling Tony in the beginning were definitely cheering at the end.
Yeah, well, I mean, and MMA fans too, man. They want to see a show. They got their fighters. You could not dislike a guy, but you definitely got a guy that you're most likely going to root for. And I'm like, whatever, dude. I knew going to the UFC, you have to be willing to brave these type of emotional triggers that were going to happen, like the big loud media and a lot of attention, and the crowds are going to be hostile and may or may not be for you or against you. Next time I could be the huge pop. I could be fighting whoever and I get a bigger pop, and now I'm like, oh shoot, now I definitely got to perform, and it could mess me up even worse than having a bad crowd pop. You never quite know until you get in there and you're like, here goes nothing. Freaking strap on the gloves
Gotta be
and go.
Vegas. Gotta be Vegas. Gotta be
it's
McGregor.
Vegas. I hope it's Vegas. I got
What do you think
I got
about
an MRI today. I had a couple CT scans and MRIs yesterday just to like look at some stuff and just make sure I get healthy and see
You
what
get the hyperbaric chamber.
hyperbaric chamber. I did that yesterday.
chamber.
I'll do that again maybe this afternoon or tomorrow or
I
something.
think it's like 1 hour for 45 days
for your brain?
for your brain.
Yeah.
Clears up a whole bunch of shit.
Yeah.
It's like a crazy. There's like scans they can do. I think there's a place in New York where they take scans of your brains. They can show you where like damage is, and then
It's like a Doppler radar.
yeah. And there's like a study where if you do hyperbaric chamber 45 days on a
Straight.
certain frequency for just an hour, then they show you your pictures the next time, and it's supposed to be.
Yeah, I'm gonna be.
It clears guys. You're
Well,
right.
yeah,
It's
a couple clouds,
it's
but
it's like
you know.
New York.
Here and there.
There's a spot in LA, and I think there's also a spot in Atlanta too where they do those they do that imaging.
Yeah.
Because that's like 100%. 45 days for an hour, and apparently it clears up the weather, dude.
Yeah, I need to clear up the
Something I
weather.
think we obviously all
should all
immediately
try to
do
at least try to
I
whatever.
need to
clear up the
actually,
Yeah.
maybe you should get on
After a
that.
season, that should be probably the first thing you do for the
Yeah,
next
hey, oh, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So
Do you-
clear up
do
a
you
couple
worry-
things.
Do you worry about that stuff at all? Is that a fear of yours?
Yeah, I mean, of course, a little bit, but especially with my fight style, like I said last time I was here, it's like I can't trust myself. I know who I am when I step inside there, and it's not pussyfooting around like let's kind of get into a point fight. I'm like, dude, let's make some carnage here, and it's a good thing for the promoters, for the fans,
for us watching.
for you guys watching,
Yeah.
and it's good for me sometimes too as an athlete because sometimes you can break dudes and just go right through them, but longevity wise, yeah. But I've also have been well read on a lot of stuff as well. Obviously, brain injuries happen, and repeated blows to the head is obviously never a good thing. But diet, supplementation, sleep, hyperbaric chamber. There's so many things where we talk about, CTE or dementia and all these other things where we're like, okay, well, it's got to be because of head injuries, or it could be the fact that you eat way too many refined carbs, sugars, and all that kind of stuff, and it's messing with your brain as well. So I think my diet and the way that I treat my body is at least going to buffer against some of that stuff as well. But I definitely think about it because winning a title is great, but man, being able to enjoy my two sons for the rest of their lives is the most important thing.
Yeah.
Have you ever
And my body is holding up, like, a couple little things here. I freaking dislocated my finger 20 minutes before the fight, in the warm up. So I just gotta make sure that's
how the fuck
not
does that happen?
just
Bad trainer,
happened.
dude.
No,
That's
it was
to do with-
great.
that's
No,
to do with the braided hair.
Jason, no, it wasn't
That's
him.
Jason's fault.
It wasn't him.
Jason, you messed up.
No,
You almost
it was
lost the fight
actually
for him.
DeMarquez Jackson is one of my best friends, and he's been in my corner now for like 20 fights. It was my idea. I was done warming up. Shogun and OSP, the fight before me, were in like starting the third round. So I'm walking in like 20 minutes, and I'm like, hey, Marquez, hop up, throw some left high kicks at me, and I want to hit you to the body because I want to go left body liver off the left high kick. He throws a couple, and then I catch one, and it just bent these two fingers all the way back and touched the back of my glove, and then they went back, and I was like, oh, something happened. And I took I wasn't looking at it. I took my finger like this, and I went like this, and I touched it because it didn't hurt, and I was like, oh God. And Henry put his face in his shirt like this, and he's like, what just happened? I was like, I don't know. And like, luckily I went like this and made a fist. And I felt it go pop. And I was like, and I was able to make a fist. So I had Dr. Davidson come over, who's the UFC doc, and he like looked at it. He's like, as long as you make a fist, you're good. I can't like fully
right now,
down.
But at the time you probably could.
At the time I could, yeah.
Yeah.
Then the swelling happened. I'm wearing a size 13 ring right now. I usually wearing a size 10. So it's, it's just things that happen. I said, it ain't a hand, boys. It's a hammer.
Yeah.
We got to keep throwing it. So Jason, I was like, Jason, hop up. So I just started throwing punches. I was like, keep the adrenaline going. Don't think about it. And then luckily we didn't think about it.